Good morning, Facebook and YouTube friends. Shaman Billy Ricky here. It's another new day and another new spell and prayer for protection for all of us here in the USA. For myself, for I'm quite sure that the big beautiful bill will pretty much put me asunder. I fought very hard for my justice and to have this horrible, horrible, monstrous excuse for a human do this to me. And you can hear how angry all the birds I feed are. Magic is with me. I still think about others. And as for Elon Musk and Keanu Reeves, one of them would have been my way out. One of them would have saved me. But, it is what it is. It was a huge hope. And I did so try. And I wouldn't understand how things work for movie stars anyway. And a billionaire who already has had, 14 wives and 14 kids. I could have loved the children, that's not a problem. I could have got along with the ex wives, hopefully. But, it was pretty much just a fantasy. And I gave it an effort. It was my one chance and my only way out, my only way forward. Now I just have to face this down, and all I have is my religion, shamanic magic to protect me. And I can only hope that God will defend me when and if the thugs come, because they do not like transgender people. And they're building concentration camps in Florida. And everybody's saying, maybe not everybody, well, this is just for immigrants. But I got news for you. Everybody in America is an immigrant. And I've said that before. Everybody is. The Supreme Court has said that even a U.S. citizen born here can be deported. And if you think they're going to stop at a certain race, no. And even then, we're talking about human lives. We're talking about human beings being put in a cage with a tent over it where there's alligators to eat them alive if they're escaping. If a hurricane goes through the Everglades, what do you think's going to happen? And as Daniel Moody has said, you turn around and there's mosquitoes all around you. And you know they're not going to give you the kind of clothes and sprays you need, which is probably still not going to be enough. And what does mosquitoes harbor? Disease. And plus, we're talking about an administration that just killed health care for millions, veterans, disabled. Uh, you know, it takes every dime I have to pay my mom rent, and it fluctuates. It could be more some months, but it's never below $600. I can tell you that much. And then, you know, everything I fought for, $280 of money goes to food, which is how we live, you know. So, and I fought for years to have that justice after I was beaten and left for dead, and that is what it's about. And I just got it to where Social Security does not try to take anything from me anymore. I have a heart full of love. I'm an emotional girl. I'm dealing with imposters and cards and memberships. But I will never believe that Keanu Reeves would charge somebody a membership. If he wanted to meet me, he'd be here. If Elon Musk wanted me to be his wife, he'd be here. But it was nice to try to believe in that for a while. I literally had a man call me, sounded just like Elon Musk. It did not sound like a robot. but now I've heard nothing. Nothing for days. So, and I also asked to be married before summer was over. Well, next month is August. And then that's kind of the dog days of summer, So, but now it's up to me, my shamanic magic, and when mom goes, and I just don't know how much time she has left. I will do my best to keep myself afloat here, but I don't think that's going to. All the bills here, and who knows what my mom's family's going to try to do to me to take everything away from me. I wouldn't put anything past them. They're so mean and hateful and conniving and deceitful, and only God is between me and them. God and archangels. All I wanted was to be loved and to fully be a woman before I die. That was my last grasp of happiness. To transmutate through my magic and my beliefs, let go of the anger and the hurt and the past. But people in my family, cheating, fate had to bring this Nazi regime into power to abolish it all for me again. To specifically hate transgender people. Now try and tell me that the devil and Satan doesn't hate me. Seems kind of coincidental to me that transgender are the number one hated thing under this regime. Why is that exactly? Is that because Ricky's in the middle of getting surgery and hormones and being given back what adults took from Ricky when Ricky was a child? Maybe it's true when I get a dream and God's telling me Satan hates you because he knows I love you so much. Maybe that dream is true, because it sure seems coincidental to me that out of all the things out there, transgender people just seem to be the top subject with this regime, which puts me right at the head of the line, right with the immigrants. And I worry my head off about immigrants who are struggling to be a part of this country, who are being kidnapped and put in cages and thrown in gulags. And I've heard things about slave labor. Tell me I shouldn't be terrified right now. I have no man to protect me. I don't have Elon Musk. I don't have Keanu Reeves. I just have my mother and me and my magic and God, and I'm definitely in God's hands, and there is no choice in that. No choice, but enough is enough about this. I've tried and tried and tried and tried to catch the notice of either of these men, which I could love very deeply. It's just not going to. It's not going to happen. Anyway, I love you. I pray for your protection as well, especially if you're black, brown, American Indian, transgender, gay, lesbian, bi, disabled, veteran. My prayers and my magic is with you. And I've done my spell this morning for love, for who I wanted to love me out of those two men, and for protection against this evil. The rest has yet to be shown. Blessed be.